Hello, everybody. It's Jen in Canada, and today I am going to show you some stuff that we took out of the freezer, and that for cooking today. So right now, my oldest is actually making some fried green tomatoes. So using some green tomatoes from the garden, some breadcrumbs and flour from the pantry, and having that for breakfast. So using what we have, the- so today, since Tuesday is a day that Rowan has classes late, so she's not going to be home for supper. So that means Tuesdays from now on, for at least this term, will be seafood days. So I took out some frozen lobster, canned lobster. So this is really minced lobster, so it's, like, really flaked, so it's all the little bits when they take off the tail and the claws and stuff, it's all the little bits. Hey, Tom Tom. And so I'm going to make some lobster cakes with this, with some mash with some potatoes. I cooked up some potatoes yesterday specifically for making crab cakes, but, like, well, lobster cakes. Abby and I will eat these. Jeff won't. He might try one, um, but he does not like lobster. So I took this out. Um, and I took out some shrimp because everybody loves shrimp. I might see if I can find another bag of shrimp because, again, everybody loves shrimp, and Rowan won't be here. Then I took out this uh, just cheese pizza. This one I got, I think it was last fall. I got for free. My friend I do groceries with got her Costco card, and part of the promotion of getting your Costco card, you got a package of 3 cheese Kirkland brand frozen pizzas, as well as, like, $25 gift card online, as well as $25 in store or something like that, or $20. So, but see, it's been in the freezer for a while, so there's lots of ice crystals. Well, I'll just take the ice crystals out and we'll cook this up. I'll put some other toppings on it. So we'll cook that up maybe with some, we have some pepperoni and that. My youngest does not like pizza, but she will eat pizza. But the main event um, tonight too is I picked up out of the freezer. I searched. I was making sure I had 2 packages. Like one package would feed my family, but there would not be leftovers. 2 packages would feed my family because my family likes about 2 sausages each. And in one package, only 2 people get 2 sausages at least. Feed my family and then have leftovers because that's what I'm kind of planning for leftovers for lunches. So these ones are Aduli sausages. I got these. They were marked down for like $1 a package. Normally these are like $5. I picked them up. I'm like, oh, that's the really good ones for like jambalaya and stuff like that. So we're gonna have these with peppers. I have a bunch of peppers from the farm and the garden and stuff, and I'm going to make a pasta. So it'll be like sausages, peppers, tomatoes. I have other vegetables I'll chop up and hide in there. And then a label fell off of this. So look what's there. You got your exactly. I'm fine. I have no idea what this is. It looks like a soup. But it's not quite tomatoey. Yeah, it's a soup of some sort because I see like peppers and meat, like chicken or something. So I'm taking that out to see what defrosts to, and we'll either have this with supper tonight or for lunch tomorrow or something. So again, I know that there was a label on here, but it fell off. Now, interesting. A friend of mine from like I went to school with her here, but she moved to New Zealand and she sells Tupperware down there. She goes, what you should do is put your label instead of on top of it, put it inside the lid so that even if it falls out, it falls on top of the frozen food, and um, you won't. Uh, you'll always know what's in there when you at least take it out of the freezer. That's something I should look. maybe putting a label on the top and a label underneath just in case, because I don't want to take it out and open things up without knowing what's in there. So we've been doing pretty good eating what we have, and the reason why I took out is because I still have some turkey in the fridge from, well, actually from the freezer, because I made turkey. I made turkey broth. I made um, faux soup with turkey. Yesterday, I made um, a baked chicken. Well, it was called baked chicken risotto, but I used turkey, and it was really good. And it was really easy. I did it on the oven. Okay, Rowan said she didn't like it. Rowan said I didn't like. I loved it. I'm like, um, I thought it was really good, but Daddy wasn't too fond of it because he doesn't. He also says he goes, I don't like risotto. You had said we are gonna have pasta. I'm like, I changed my mind because I was gonna do pasta yesterday, and I wasn't quite in the mood. Cooked up some artichoke. See, my family, only Jeff and I would eat artichoke. I've never cooked artichokes fresh. I've only had them marinated in a jar, and we've put them on salads. I've never had them cooked up and eaten like that. Um, I would, but they're like here they're like expensive from like as a vegetable. I think they're like $3 each at the store when I see them. I don't see them that often. Um, I see them often at Farm Boy, which is a very vegetable centered grocery store. Like their vegetable section is like huge. It's half the store, vegetables and already prepared vegetable dishes and stuff like that. And then they have a little bakery, a little meat section, a little deli, and then they'll have dairy and some like chips and other things like pasta, like usually all the organic stuff or gluten free or whatever, the kind of unique diet stuff. Like you can't buy toilet paper. They can't buy any paper products in that store. You can't buy toilet paper or paper towel, so you can only go there for food. And it's like you can't even get pop there usually, except for the little individual bottles at the front, because they also have a big salad bar and hot salad bar, which they charge you. I think it's $2, 100 grams. Like you fill up your container, so it's really good for like actually going there for lunch and stuff like that, or as a quick meal because it's like actually cooked stuff and not really processed. Just somebody else is cooking it. So it's a much healthier option than say a burger or something like that. Um, I've done that before, and they have a salad card that if you go there and you purchase 10 salads, which is including the hot plate ones, you get one free. Oh, I've come with fried green tomato. Oh, yum. Fried green tomato. Very good. Quite quite tasty. Hi, Amanda. I was just saying that we're using stuff we have. Rowan's making fried green tomatoes for breakfast. I have my coffee. Jeff got this cup. He was at this OGP Global Summit Canada 2019. It's actually metal. It's actually a good cup. He got it in his swag bag from work. There. Amanda says hi, Rowan. So I was just showing what I picked out of the freezer, and um, so we're still mystery soup sauce. I think it's soup because it looks like maybe chicken. Labels falling off. That's not necessarily going to be for supper. That might be for lunch tomorrow. Got 2 packages of sausages. We're going to do sausages, peppers, and other vegetables like tomatoes and stuff like that. And I'm going to do up a thing of pasta. So this cheese pizza, which really needs to be eaten because there's lots of ice in it, and this was I got literally last fall, so it's perfectly fine. But we'll put more pepperoni. Then I took out some shrimp because today is Tuesday and it's going to be seafood day. Tuesdays it's going to be seafood day in our house because Rowan has classes till like 8 or so. And took out a can of frozen lobster. Well, I don't understand. So somebody explain to me, how come lobster, when they can it, like it's perfectly canned, it's frozen. But when you go to the store, you can get canned clams or shrimp or tuna or salmon, and it's on the shelf. I don't understand. Like, can anybody explain to me why lobster specifically gets frozen after it gets canned? Because I'm going to make some lobster cakes with mashed potatoes for Abby and I for lunches this week, or like we'll have it for supper tonight, and then we'll have it for lunches this week because Jeff doesn't do lobster. You got them for free. You have to cook them long. Got some miniature ones now. The big ones are still cooking 50 minutes. Wow. Where'd you get them for free? Cook them with salt and butter. Yes, free is always awesome. Like that's also like Rowan grabbed some green tomatoes from our garden because we have lots of green tomatoes. Um, my garden at the church, the community garden, has some red tomatoes that I have to go and pick soon, and still lots of green tomatoes and some peppers, lots of green onions and dill and stuff like that. So I have to go there and harvest stuff this week. Well, I'll be going there tomorrow for coffee break. That's the women's Bible study that I go to on Wednesday, and that starts up tomorrow. And so I'll be there at my pub every Friday. Awesome. That is cool. At our church, people bring um, extra food like cucumbers or zucchini and stuff like that from their gardens, and they'll put a chair by the front door, like as you come in or as you leave, like free. Please take one. You know, we have a few people who have farms in our church, and they usually will bring some of their excess stuff. So lately, it's been not computers, cucumbers and zucchini. So as you know, you plant one zucchini plant and you've got enough zucchini for like the whole summer for one family. But I've never been lucky growing zucchini. Plus, my family's not big on zucchini. Jeff likes zucchini. I like zucchini. My kids don't. They eat it though because I shove it in the food processor. So, um, but yeah, that's been it. Been cooking from the shelf in the cupboards in the fridge, and it's slowly going down. Slowly seeing space. um, with Abby's new diet and stuff, it's been a bit difficult because we had to go to the store and pick up some specific foods that she could eat, and making some stuff from scratch. Like for example, I made homemade tomato sauce from scratch without onions or garlic because she couldn't have onions or garlic. Oh, mostly from organic food groceries. Cool. Yeah, I don't buy a lot of organic food unless it's on sale because here organic food in Canada literally costs twice as much as non-organic. And most of in Canada we have very strict food pesticide laws type thing. So a lot of our our regular food doesn't have a lot of pesticides to begin with. So as long as you wash them, I mean, in my budget, like for example, I picked up Sometimes I'll pick up like kiwi or that's organic because it's on sale, or if the cost difference is only like a few cents, I don't mind. But if it's double, I'm sorry, I can use that money elsewhere. Um, like for example, one like a while ago, just July, I think celery, regular celery was crazy. Like there was a shortage somewhere because celery was 5.99, and I'm like, I am not buying celery. I don't care how much. So that's when I picked up the frozen chopped veggies, which had celery, onions, carrots, like the mise en place type of stuff. And I'm like, it was cheaper to buy that for like $2, which had because that's all I wrote. Like my family doesn't eat celery raw. They did when they were kids. And all I do with celery is chop it up for soups and sauces. So buying it fresh is usually the cheapest. But I'm sorry, I'm like, I am not paying $6 for celery. If I'm going to make a soup, I'm not going to be putting celery in it. And then just when I went to the store when we came back from vacation, it was down to a reasonable price. I think it was like a dollar something. Under $2, I'll do. I mean, like $6 for celery. It's almost like the cauliflower fiasco. What 2-3 years ago when cauliflower was $7.99. I'm like, Jeff got cauliflower for Christmas. Santa put in his stocking because it was a $7 cauliflower, and Santa put a pineapple in my stocking. Nice cuddly pineapple. Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, celery is a filler. Celery is usually I buy celery and carrots and onions, chop them up, and be as a filler with the meat to stretch the meat, the flavor of the meat, to stretch the meat, and to give you nutrients, whatever is in there. But it's not a vegetable we eat. Um, that even when celery was that expensive, the veggie and fruit plate trays that you see at the grocery store didn't even have any in there. Like they were not even putting it in there. They just kept they put like the baby tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers and carrots instead, or maybe broccoli or cauliflower depending on the store. Horseradish is worse for me. I love horseradish. So like I love like in the jar, like already prepared. I've never had horseradish as a vegetable. I love horseradish on like roast beef. And actually, my roast beef, I like horseradish and a bit of Dijon mustard. It's quite yummy. And then you have to have gravy as well. And then you have to have Yorkshire pudding to sop up the gravy. And then you can have some vegetables. I still have that bit of a cough at the like it's just down here. Doesn't I don't cough as much at night anymore, but every once in a while I get dry cough. Um, I figure I also like horseradish is kind of like the Japanese wasabi, which is like I think that Japanese wasabi is kind of like the regular horseradish, just different, spicier. Love wasabi, but not harsh. It grows here often. Well, it grows here too, but I've never seen it offered as a vegetable. Like I've seen it at the stores because it grows like a big, huge, long, like white carrot, or looks like a daikon radish, which is the Asian white radishes, and it's or like. But I've never seen anybody. I've never bought it. I've never seen anybody buy it, and I've never seen it as a recipe, like at a restaurant, as a side vegetable or something. I don't know how you would eat it. Um, like same here, artichoke hearts and stuff, artichokes as a side vegetable. You see that in some of the fancy restaurants. Also, you see that in the vegan and vegetarian restaurants because it's a fancy vegetable that they can charge money for. So they can charge $20 for their meal versus if it's some of the cheaper vegetables, it's really hard to justify $20 for a meal without meat. But yeah. Um, Next year for my garden, I want to grow garlic I want to grow more. I want to grow garlic. I want to go see if I can plant garlic in the fall, so it's ready in the spring. I have to do a bit of research on that. Um, One of our gardeners did that this year. They've been growing garlic at home for the past few years, and this past year in the fall, they planted garlic. So that in the spring, it was all coming up, and then they picked it all, and then they planted the rest of the vegetable, like the rest of the garden. Yes. Hey Google, stop. In the fridge is the mayo, the sriracha mayo that you had made for the sushi. That would taste good with the fried green tomatoes. No, there's dairy in that one. Hi, Hardens, James. How's it going? Uh, So, have you ever had lobster cakes or crab cakes or fish cakes? Not too bad. I went into my freezer, so I went in my big deep freezer, tried to find some things for supper tonight, tomorrow, like lunch. So, oh, dinner. That's mystery. The label fell off. I think it's a soup. I'm hoping it's a soup. 'Cause it looks like there's some meat there, pepper. Um, so that'll be, and I took out a cheese pizza that we'll put some pepperoni on because that needs to be eaten. Tonight we're having sausages, so I picked up two things of these andouille sausages. I got these when they were marked down to like $1 a package. These are normally like $5. These Johnsonville packages, but they only had this brand, and I'm like, oh, I will pick this up because my family does like any type of sausage. We're going to do like sausages and peppers and tomatoes and stuff. I'm going to do a side of pasta, so it'll be like a kind of like a sauce with pasta. And then what? Yes, and tomatoes and stuff. And yes, no, she doesn't. Daddy does. And shrimp. I'm going to do it like a sauce with the peppers, so there'll be like a sauce for the pasta. Crab cakes. Oh man, they good, but all the May can't eat them that much. Well, these ones. So I'm going to be doing with with the lobster. I'm going to mix this with potatoes, so mashed potatoes, and then seasoning. I'm not going to put. Normally, I would put onions and garlic in it, but since Abby can't have that right now, because of her FODMAP diet, I'm just going to put. I'm going to use some garlic oil, and I can put green onions, which I have a lot of in there. So, and I'm going to mash together, and then put egg in it, and then pan fry it. I might put them into some um, like gluten-free breadcrumbs or regular breadcrumbs because she can have on the diet. She can have like one piece of white bread in a serving. So I figure if I make breadcrumbs, it's regular breadcrumbs, it have the amount that she would have on them to make it extra crispy. But have them with supper tonight, and then we'll have extras so that she can maybe take some for lunch. We made a sriracha mayo that doesn't have onions or garlic in it. That tastes quite nummy because we looked at the ingredients for the sriracha that we have. It has onions and garlic. Oh no, it has garlic in it. It doesn't have onions. And I'm like, oh, seriously, everything has onions or garlic in it. Like even chili powder. So in North America, chili powder is a mixture of spices. So I have Enchero chili powder, which is just that one chili. Because it's very weird. Like on the app, it says chili powder is fine, but like if you look at our spices of what's in a chili powder, there's onions or garlic in it. It's crazy. She can have so she's supposed to not have lactose. Um, so she can have lactose-free stuff. So we picked up lactose-free yogurt, and she's having coconut milk or almond milk. So this is the weird thing. I'm not too worried on some of the ingredients because She's already been tested for celiac, which came back negative. She's been tested for lactose, came back negative. She's been tested for fructose, being allergic or can't deal with the sugars and stuff, came back negative. She's tested, and she's already been tested for sucrose, which came back negative. So all those things are some of the major things in this diet that she's supposed to eliminate. So she's not allergic to them, but she might be sensitive to them in small amounts, which might cause some of her stomach issues. So if something accidentally goes in, because I have like doing this diet is really hard. Even reading all the ingredients, and even then I mess up. um, I'm not too worried. I just figure anything is better than nothing, and even if you mess up once, it doesn't erase all the good you've done. Like for example, Friday she did not do the diet, but she really didn't go too far from the diet. So Friday it was the corn roast. She had a corn, so she could have in the green section, like so she could have corn, but it had to be half a corn. She had a whole corn, so it probably went high. And then she had one or two sausages with the bun. She could have had one sausage with a bun or half a bun, depending. Like I don't know because she could have one piece of bread, so I don't know how much a bun would be. I would have probably had to try and weigh the bun. It says like the weight too of things. And then she had watermelon, which she technically shouldn't have because it has more sucrose in there or something. But I'm letting her have a cheat day, a cheat meal, and then back on the road the next day. And even when we went to my in-laws on Sunday, I said to her, I'm like, we're not going to ask my mother-in-law to go make a whole new meal and not to use these ingredients because she makes the meals how she makes them, right? I'm not going to go now, but it ended up being a meal that she could eat. So we had burgers, which were just plain burgers, like there's no seasoning on them, just 100% meat. She had a bun, so there was like maybe too much of bread, but not a big thing. And she had coleslaw, which she can have. So, and she had tomatoes. So, pure chili powder should only be. So in Canada, so when we get chili powder here, it's a mixture of chilies or a mixture of seasonings. Like for chili, it's like a chili seasoning to make chili, the sauce. Now there's a brand of chili. So I also have the Enchero chili. So it's that one particular chili pepper ground up. In other countries, and because of what I've been reading up on the app and on the group, yes, the dip. Okay, I'll get that for you. Um, No, okay. um, and so because I'm reading up on the app and on the groups, they're like, oh, in North America, chili powder has other things because if you buy the package, you'll see chili powder has cayenne, chili, and usually garlic or onion in it. Sriracha has garlic in it and salt. Yes. So that's the thing is that so I have some chili. So we made a sriracha type mayonnaise where it was mayonnaise and we used Szechuan ground Szechuan peppercorns, some chili oil. Like I have the hot red pepper chilies that are in the oil, and there's no garlic or onion in there. And we used some of the I have to think about how Enchero chili powder, as well as some smoked paprika to give it some more color and some other flavor. Yeah, well, so yeah, because in bulk bar, like it's called it's so it's not in North America. It's a mix of spices. It's kind of like curry powder. Curry powder is a mixture of cumin, turmeric, coriander, or cardamom, usually onions and garlic, in there. So you have to look at the ingredients of what's in specific curry powders now, or you just make it yourself. So I have no problem making it myself because I've got those ingredients, right? So that's what I've been doing is that I've been looking at things and going, oh, can't have that. So lives in BC, but I didn't pay attention to that. Yeah, well, I didn't either. I didn't know that it was a mixture until literally this past week when Abby was on this diet, and somebody was talking about in the app. It says that chili powder is fine, but then they looked at their chili powder package because they buy it, in a bag or on a jar, and it had different ingredients. So a whole bunch of people were like, "Oh yes, in North America, our chili powder is a mixture of spices, while in other countries." Their chili powder is specifically one ingredient, unless it's a and that's when they say chili seasoning, where you could buy a package that says, to make chili, like how you get a spaghetti sauce one or a taco seasoning or whatever. There's a mixture. So the same with tacos. I have to look at the taco seasonings. Like I unfortunately I have a huge jar that I had just picked up, maybe beginning of summer, from Costco of taco seasoning. In there's garlic or onion, one of them in there. But that's not so much of a big deal because I have all the ingredients to make my own taco seasoning. And I've made my own taco seasoning before. It has onions and garlic, but if I just leave out the onions and garlic, it's still good. I could just use the garlic oil when I use it. Well, like Marcomic, you mean Marcomic? Like yes, like McCormick. Yeah, I try to buy, or like here we also have like no name or the store brand bags. But yeah, McCormick seasonings and stuff like that. I try to buy organic spices because if you buy them organic, they don't have added stuff. True. Well, the spices, even non-spices, don't have added stuff. Just the chili powder and curry powder. If you look at it, say chili powder ingredients. I'm just going to go here. So, what's in McCormick chili powder is a blend of chili peppers, herbs, and spices. Starts with whole, ripe, rosy red chilies, toasted, mixed with ingredients, cumin, oregano, garlic, and salt. So that's in chili powder. That's McCormick's, like just the chili powder, not the stuff that make chili. Um, but you can make your own by just adding, like, here's a homemade chili powder blend without just not putting the garlic or onions in it. So here, chili powder blend. You can make yourself. Well, here, like it says, it's paprika, smoked paprika, garlic, cayenne, onion powder, dried oregano, cumin. But Chero, I'm gonna go ancho chili. That's it called. So I have some ancho chili powder, which is just that chili, and it's quite comparable to um, the regular chili powder. And it's kind of smoked, so it adds a little smoky flavor too. Now you want to go look at my chili powder? Exactly. Go look at your chili powder. Oh, not here. Aldi sells organic spices, or there's a store here that sells cheap. Yeah, I've heard Aldi has a whole their organic stuff is much cheaper than elsewhere. I haven't shopped in the States for a few years, since my friend moved further away because we used to go to the States like once every few months. But I haven't been to the States actually since the Trump administration, not because necessarily because of him, just because my friend moved away just before that, and I don't drive. So, but where we go, like I can get to the States about an hour away in Ogdensburg, New York, and there's an Aldi there, a Price Chopper, a Walmart. So I've gone shopping to all those places, and I love Aldi. Um, I find all their stuff so much cheaper, and they do have a lot of organic stuff at pretty much the same price as regular stuff. Like if you look at the garlic, it may say making traces of milk, dairy, wheat, and soy. Well, yeah, because these things are done in factories that have all these ingredients, so they have to put that in there to cover their butts, especially in the States. Because no offense, you guys in the States, you like to sue people for everything. Here in Canada, we don't necessarily sue people for stuff unless it's something major. If somebody intentionally messed things up, and also some people have major allergies. So if somebody has an egg allergy, and if it may contain it, they should get their chili or garlic powder or whatever from a place that doesn't also produce stuff with eggs. And you can do it, or go and get locally from a local farm, or do it yourself. You know, it's not that hard to make garlic powder. I mean, I've done it. I've taken garlic when I bought a bunch of garlic. Um, on sale for like $3.99 for a kilogram of garlic. Peeled it all, sliced all, dried it, ground it, made garlic powder. I'm like, it's not rocket science. It's a lot of work, but you, you can't get, and you just shove it in a jar and it stays forever. Like, I mean, yes, over time it might lessen its potency and stuff like that, but honestly, not enough for you to go and, oh, it's been 2 years, you're going to throw it out. Just make what you're going to use within a 2 year period, and you're going to be fine. Um, I'm in the Aldi homeland, and I prefer Lidl. So I've heard that there's a few Lidls in the States. I want Aldi or Lidl to come to Canada. Please, please come to Canada. If anybody who has any, knowledge of who to get there to come to Canada, we need discount grocery stores like nobody's business. Like, we have all these major, big, huge stores. I mean, I was at Loblaws the other day because we were picking up computer stuff, and I picked up um, just I picked up olives, and I had to pick up some bread for Abby and stuff. And Jeff wanted pop. But I was looking at the vegetables, and I'm like, this is why I don't shop at Loblaws for my stuff. They wanted for cucumbers, one cucumber, 2.99. It wasn't even organic. I'm like, I buy cucumbers for dollar 25. Okay, I picked up a thing of these little tiny baby cucumbers, like they're sweet, for 2.96. So, but it was like a kilogram of them. I'm like, on food time, I'm gonna use it. So yes, Freshco has great prices. Freshco and Food Basics, but I was just like, I cannot pay $3 for one cucumber. Like, that's one meal. Like, that's definitely not making my meal um cheap. I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that. So there's a store here that sells it super cheap in bulk. Yeah, we have a bulk store here called Bulk Farm, and I get all my spices there, so much cheaper. And I found um, you'll soon see a thing of what I did from a Bulk Farm. I have to find the video and upload it. Um, one of the things I picked up at Bulk Barn was popping corn. So I usually buy a bag of popping corn. They're like 2 something for a kilogram, almost $3, depending on for just the no name stuff. We're not even talking Orville Redenbacher. They had some white popping corn. Their corn popped almost all the kernels. Well, this other stuff leaves like a quarter cup all the time. Yeah, Germany is much different than Canada, but I work full time. Little, don't have time. Oh, you could make your own. What? Sleep is overrated. Sleep when you're dead. You should be growing your own food, dehydrating it, canning it, and stuff. Still working a 9 to 5 job. Hunt your own meat, everything. No, I understand. I mean, that's why you have to kind of figure out the balance for you specifically. Of my hair is just this curl just doesn't want to go hidden. What specifically what works for you between convenience and homemade? So homemade is great. If you have the time, do it. You control what ingredients go into everything. You know what's going in your stomach, and it helps with your health. But homemade takes time, and you can even go as far homemade, going from like getting the whole wheat kernels, grinding them up, and making your own flour, and then making your own bread. There's like so many more steps. So I buy bread. I do make bread. I buy bread. I make bread. Depending on my family, my husband loves store bought bread. He likes my bread for like soups. I'm still trying to figure out the best bread to make for sandwiches, because I now have a Pullman pan, so I can make sandwich bread that looks like sandwich bread. Like that was his biggest complaint, was when I made bread, it was like small at the bottom and then went big at the top, and it was not even. But you have to figure out what works for you. And if you're working a lot of hours and you have a good paycheck, you can use that money to buy, eat out, takeout. But like takeout and restaurant food is not necessarily the healthiest. You could do and go to the grocery store and get the homemade prepared stuff there, which is cheaper and healthier than from a restaurant. Or you go and get sometimes those meal kits and stuff where all the ingredients are already pre-chopped for you, and it takes you like half an hour to an hour to make a meal, and that's like restaurant quality. You just have to figure out if which part of convenience you want. And the more that you're in the kitchen, and the more that you realize how easy certain things are in the kitchen, the more you want to be in the kitchen. The more you, when you go out to a restaurant, you're like, oh, I'm not going to order spaghetti at the restaurant because I can make spaghetti at home for like $1. I'm not going to spend $10, even though it might be a really good sauce and maybe meatballs and stuff for spaghetti at a store. I'll spend $10 on a steak, where the price of the steak is half of the price of the meal versus at home where you still have to buy that steak. Organic helmets. What's right now? Peppers are 75 cents for a pound at Freshco. Awesome. Yes. I'm not doing groceries this week until probably Friday. My friend Pat, who I do groceries with, is on vacation. She's rented a cottage just out of town. She does that for about a week or 10 days every fall as a vacation, and so she doesn't get back till Wednesday or Thursday. So my groceries I'll probably be doing on Friday. I still lots of food. The fresh is getting low, but as you saw with the stuff I picked out in the freezer, we're not going to starve. Like we still have canned food and we have frozen. I still have the garden. The gardens are still growing. I'm going to check the gardens to see if any of my lettuce is harvestable still, or if it all bolted when I was on vacation. I know that there were some that was small leaves. We did it from seeds. So, but no, we used up all those tomatoes from that box. I still have tomatoes from the garden. Have some hot peppers growing in the garden and some onions. This year I didn't plant a lot of variety because I've done so in the past and it's never quite worked out too great because some things when we were on vacation, because we always go on vacation end of August, so it's not very good for me for garden. um, so I try and grow things that aren't going to be ready to harvest till when we come back. So, did you get a plate for me? Here, just put some. Here, put some in here. Yeah, well, they had last week advertised of these boxes of peppers and tomatoes, and that for like $7.99, but none of the stores had them. So you can advertise all you want, but can you put a little sauce there? But if you don't have it, so this year I'm not making sauce and the canning sauce or canning tomatoes because I still have a little bit from last year of the tomatoes. There's the fried green tomatoes. Oh, they're hot. And then the sriracha mayonnaise. Hot. Mm-hmm. Yes, Peter's asleep in the cat tree. He just stretched. So, yeah, I gotta look at what the sales are after after Thursday to see what I'll pick up because we're still doing shelf timber, so still trying to use up stuff in the fridge, freezer, and pantry. Been doing pretty good on that, and just buying kind of. I'll look at buying fresh stuff and maybe some beef because we've had a lot of chicken and turkey and pork lately. Not a lot of beef. That mayo is quite spicy. That definitely wakes you up in the morning. Um, do you guys like fried green tomatoes? We like tomatoes in any form. Fried green, red, baked tomatoes, sauce, ketchup, salsa. All Rowan did was slice the tomatoes and then dip them in egg, and then dip them in flour breadcrumbs, and then pan fried them in oil. Oh, and the flour breadcrumbs, she put salt and pepper. And then she made a sriracha type meal. We made a spicy, with as I said, you can use regular sriracha and mayonnaise mixture. But since sriracha had garlic in it, we used chili oil and smoked paprika and ancho chili powder, which is just chili, and Szechuan peppers and mayo. Yeah. Well, the green tomatoes are unripe tomatoes, but I don't think they're poison. You know, the stem. Well, the stem might be poisonous, but you don't eat the stem. You just eat the tomatoes. And there's some brands of tomatoes, some heirloom tomatoes that actually only go like grow green or do the green purple stripe. Okay, sure, no problem. You still have a tomato there. Mm. Perfect tomatoes, Rowan. Yum yum yum. My battery is running low, so I think I'll be stopping this live stream very shortly. Thanks for coming with me and seeing what I took out of the freezer. Comment below of anything else I should do that you'd like to see me do, uh, and maybe some ideas of what to do with other things that are in my freezer. I have a but. So the problem is I have a bunch of these containers of like soups and stuff, which we're coming up at least to that season of having soups. So Abby and I will love eating soups. Where are the soup fiends here? But yeah, comment below of anything that you'd like me to see me, even something that you'd like me to see me videotape and bake or cook. Have surprise night. Yes. Well, that soup is a surprise lunch somewhere. We'll probably have that when we get home from the dent. We have a dentist appointment, so She's going gets fillings. Excuse me, fillings done. Not that I know of. Okay. Okay. I will. I will double check them. Okay. I will contact. There's purple, yellow, orange, green ones. Hmm. Here, can you take that? There you go. So, yes, and same with peppers too. You know, there's purple and white peppers too. They're actually heirloom ones, and they're sweeter. So, and not necessarily fun, but so she's off school today. That's why she's here. Otherwise, she'd be at school. Not fun going to the dentist, but you need to do it. So I see you guys. I don't know about tomorrow. If not, definitely Thursday. Thursday morning, I'll do a live stream. I might tomorrow, depending on when I get picked up for a coffee break and stuff. But I'll be producing some videos and keep an eye out for them. I'm hoping to have at least a video a day or every second day so that you guys have something to watch. So, have a great day. Bye, friends. Don't forget to give a thumbs up.